Hi everyone, I'm Gemma, the owner of Gemma Redmond Vintage, and I'm here again today to share with you some new additions to my online collection. All of these pieces will be being added to my website very soon. However, if there's anything that you would like to find out more about prior to them going live, please don't hesitate to message me, and you're also welcome to make a purchase if you wish to do so too. So, let's begin. I have 8 pieces again to share with you today. We've got some really colourful pieces and quite a wide time spectrum. We're going from the Georgian era through to the 1950s. So some really early examples of costume jewellery for you today. Right, I'll begin by sharing with you what I'm wearing, and then we'll move on to my selection just down here. First of all, let's start with this really timeless, classic, super chic, stylish necklace. This necklace dates from the Art Deco era. It's around circa 1920, and as you can see, it's what we term as a Riviere style of necklace, which means it has this roughly the same size of stone going right the way along the necklace and round to the back in a sort of collar, slightly longer than a collar length design. You can see that these stones are all beautiful, sparkling, brilliant cut, colourless paste stones, and they are set within gilded metal and linked together with gilded metal too. I'll just put my hair up so you can see how this looks worn right the way around, and you can see how brilliantly it sparkles too. It's great for wearing just like this with a shirt as I've got today, but also for special occasions, even bridal wear too. And perhaps is also perfect for layering with Rivieres of other colours as well, if you would like to do that too. I'll take it off so that you can have a closer look. This piece fastens with a bolt ring, and the bolt ring is in nice condition. It's nice and strong and easy to clip together. There you can see how beautifully the paste stones shine and shimmer. It's in really lovely condition. It's been so well looked after in its lifetime. Next, let's move on. I'm sure you caught a glimpse of it just while I was sharing the necklace with you. Let's move on to this bracelet. This piece dates from the 1950s, and it's a really great example of chunky, bold, mid-century design. It has glass panels along its length, linked together with copper links, and the glass panels are sort of ridged along their length, and they're in black at either end of the bracelet, and then we've got these this juicy marbled fuchsia pink and pale pink panels within the centre of the bracelet. It looks great, as you can see, with pink that I'm wearing today, but would look lovely layered with other colourful bangles and worn with perhaps a floral print too for summer. I'll just unclasp it. This piece fastens with a hook and eye, so it's nice and easy to secure yourself, and you can see that the glass is in lovely condition too. Next, let's move on to my earrings, and we're going to some really early costume examples of costume jewellery now. These earrings you may be able to see, but I'll take them off shortly so you can have a closer look. They are constructed from cut steel, and they date from the Georgian era, which is around 1714 through to 1830, the 1830s. These particular earrings probably date from the late 1700s to the early 1800s. I'll take them off for you now so you can have a closer look at them. They fasten to the ears with screwbacks. However, this is a later conversion. They were probably made into screwbacks in the late 19th, early 20th century. These earrings in fact began their life as buttons, worn perhaps on the frock coat of a gentleman or a pretty bodice of a lady. And you can see that they have cut steel studs right around the outer edge of a centre in the middle, which is green enamel, and the enamel is then detailed with silver stars, and then right at its centre a gold gilded fleur-de-lis motif. This suggests that these buttons were most likely made in France. The real hotbed for cut steel accessory and jewellery manufacture was Birmingham in England. However, cut steel was extremely popular in France too, and the fleur-de-lis suggests that these buttons were from there. Cut steel is a really fascinating early example of costume jewellery. It was created to be worn at night time, particularly to reflect the light of the candles in a ballroom, and replicate diamonds and even paste. It was much more affordable than these two other options. You can see that the steel studs are faceted and then riveted to a steel backing, individually hand riveted to a steel backing. It was a real art form to make cut steel jewellery and accessories. One of my favourite early illustrations showing costume jewellery is a satirical cartoon from the Georgian era showing a man wearing a frock coat covered in cut steel buttons, and he's blinding a lady with the sparkle from his cut steel buttons, and I like to think that these were perhaps the buttons he was wearing. Next, let's move on to another piece of cut steel jewellery. This is a pendant and possibly also started its life as a button. This piece was made into a pendant again in the probably in the early 20th century, late 19th century. The cut steel in this example is a little bit more unusual. It's been faceted so that the cut steel studs look like stars, which is a really nice detail. And then at the centre we've got this moulded glass detail which has either a flower or a star motif in sort of purples and yellows at its centre. You can see again on the reverse how the cut steel studs are all attached individually to this backing here. This would look great hanging from a chain on its own or with other charms and pendants. Next, let's move forward in time, and we're going to have a look at these 1950s earrings, which are lovely ear climbers in design. They're constructed from a gilded metal filigree and then detailed with floral motifs which are set with lilac coloured or pale pink coloured rhinestones and colourless rhinestones too. They are clip-ons, and I'll just attach these to my ears so you can see how they look. These are very much in the style of Miriam Haskell, an American costume jewellery company. However, these earrings are unsigned, but they do really have a look of the work of the Miriam Haskell company, particularly a designer called Frank Hess, who made for the company in the 40s and 50s. Next, let's move on to some of my final pieces, which are all Egyptian revival and themed. I'll take these earrings off so you can have a closer look at the next pieces. First of all, we have this fantastic Egyptian Revival brooch, which has a really sweet Egyptian Revival motifs. We've got a pyramid here and the Sphinx in the foreground, and then a lovely palm tree over the top of them. This piece dates from the 1920s, so the Egyptian Revival of that era, and you can see that it's set with colourless paste stones, and then we've got this lovely bed of green baguette stones across the bottom here, these paste baguette stones. Then you can see that the fastening pin is nice and secure here on the reverse. It's a really great nod to the Egyptian Revival era of the 1920s. Next, let's move on to another necklace. This is more actually a choker than a necklace. It's constructed, it's gold-plated metal, and you can see that it's a snake, and we've got his head here at the front, which is really nicely detailed with his eyes and some scale detailing here, and then we've got his head here, his tail, sorry, here, which is also detailed with scales at the end. Then the rest of the body here is almost is a mesh-like gold-plated metal, and I'll pop it on so you can see how it looks. It just it's really easy to pop on. It just expands like so, and then you wrap it around. And then you can position it however you like. So you can have it so the head is sort of going up your neck and the tail is pointing down, or you can wear it the other way around too, so the head is pointing down and the tail is pointing up as well. It's really cool, evocative of the Egyptian Revival era of the 1920s, when snake motifs were all the rage. Snake motifs have always been in fashion in jewellery, but they were particularly popular during the 1920s Egyptian Revival. This piece is probably just great for wearing with a shirt as I'm doing, but perhaps with a black maxi for summer, just letting this piece do all the talking. Let's move on to my final piece, which is also a snake. This is a really sweet snake. He's very tiny. Again, he's gilded metal and he's set with green and red paste stones. He's probably a cobra, I think, looking at how he's curled round, and the shape of his head suggests this. So again, an Egyptian Revival motif piece, and this is also from the 1920s, the Art Deco era, the Egyptian Revival era of the 1920s. So I'll just show you his reverse as well. He has a nice fastening pin here too on the back, which is good and strong and works well too. Right, let's recap my selection of pieces that I've shared with you. So we have this fabulous 1920s Egyptian Revival snake choker. We've got the 1920s Egyptian Revival snake brooch. This 1920s Egyptian Revival Sphinx and Pyramid paste brooch. These very much Miriam Haskell in style, 1950s rhinestone floral ear climbers. This 1950s juicy glass bracelet. This Art Deco paste Riviere necklace. This Georgian cut steel and glass pendant. And these Georgian cut steel and enamel button earrings. Thanks so much for joining me again, and I hope you've enjoyed this week's selection, and I look forward to sharing more with you all very soon. Take care. Bye bye.